Welcome back, shooters. It's your boy Tactical Wook, and today we have another video for you to dive into. The USPSA hit factor scoring system. Whether you're new to the sport or a seasoned competitor, understanding this scoring system is crucial for calculating your strategy at the highest levels and understanding what you need to improve to get better at the sport. So let's get started. Before we jump into the details, let's have a quick overview of what USPSA stands for. USPSA stands for the United States Practical Shooting Association, and it's a widely popular shooting sport that tests competitors' skills in various dynamic shooting scenarios. In USPSA matches, shooters engage targets in different stages while navigating through a course of fire. The scoring system used in USPSA is called the hit factor scoring system. It is designed to reward speed and accuracy and power, otherwise known as caliber, creating a fair and challenging environment for competitors. Now let's break down how this scoring system works. Hit factor is calculated by dividing the number of points scored on a stage by the time taken to complete the stage. This formula allows shooters to be rewarded for accuracy while also considering the time taken to engage the targets and power factor or caliber of bullet. The USPSA uses two differently shaped cardboard targets known as USPSA metric targets, which are humanoid shaped, and IPSC standard targets, which are shaped like a turtle shell, as well as two different types of steel targets, poppers and falling steel. No-shoot targets are white and designated not to be shot. Also will incur a penalty subtracting points from your stage score. To calculate hit factor, the number of points is determined by adding up the points earned for each target hit during the stage. In USPSA, there are 4 scoring zones: the A, the C, the D, and the non-scoring border. These zones have different values dependent on the caliber or power factor that the competitor is using, except the A zone. The A zone is worth 5 points regardless of the shooter's power factor. So what the heck is power factor? Power factor is determined by multiplying the bullet weight of the competitor by the velocity of the bullet and dividing that number by 1,000. Power factor must be over 165 to receive major power factor scoring, which would be 5 for the A zone, 4 for the C zone, and 2 for the D zone. Power factor must be over 125 to receive minor power factor scoring, which would be 5 for the A zone, 3 for the C zone, and 1 for the D zone. So how do they figure out the time? The total time taken to complete the stage is measured from the start signal, which is usually the sound of a beep, until the last shot fired. They use a special timer that has a microphone that can hear all the shots fired throughout the course.
Time 27:12.
Once you have the time and the points minus any applicable penalties such as misses or hits on designated no-shoot targets that will subtract 10 points from your score, you can calculate the hit factor by dividing the total number of points by the time. The higher the hit factor, the better you score. Let's walk through a quick example to illustrate the calculation of hit factor. Suppose a shooter scores 139 points on a stage and completes it in 24.52 seconds. We divide the points, 139, by the time, 24.52, resulting in a hit factor of 5.66. Remember, the hit factor allows you to compare your performance to other shooters on any given stage. The highest hit factor achieved on a stage receives the maximum available match points for the stage, while other shooters' points are calculated relative to that score, kind of like a grade curve. Speaking of match points, how the heck do we earn them? Let's touch on how they're awarded. Each stage has a predetermined number of match points available based on the number of targets and their respective values. Let's reference Stage 5 from the Northern Arizona Classic this past weekend. It's the example that I used earlier. This stage has 14 USPSA metric targets and 3 USPSA poppers. The stage brief calls for 2 shots per paper and for steel to fall, meaning there are 155 available match points on this stage. Nils Jonassen shot a 7.42 hit factor, which was the highest score in my division on this stage. He received 100% of the available 155 match points from this stage. I shot a 5.66 hit factor, which was 76.39% of Nils' score. I received 118 match points, which is 76% of the 155. So in short, Each competitor in succession with the highest scoring shooter would receive a percentage of the match points relative to the high score. So if the highest scoring hit factor on a stage is 10, second place scores a 9 on a 60-point stage, second place would receive 90% of the 60 available points because they scored 90% of the top competitor on that stage. Match points add up as you shoot the multitude of stages at any given match. Usually a match will have 7 to 15 stages, sometimes more or less, and whoever scores the most match points by the end of the match wins. Matches are split into division and classes so that people can compete and compare themselves accurately against other shooters with similar equipment and skill or experience levels, but that's a subject for another video. So there you have it. The USPSA hit factor scoring system explained. By understanding this system, you can analyze your performance, set goals for improvement, and compete effectively in the United States Practical Shooting Association. I hope this video has been informative and will help you on your journey to becoming a better USPSA shooter. If you have any questions or would like to see more content like this, please let me know by dropping a comment below. Tactical Wook, out.